Speaking of royalty free for all, we have some important people from the team from royalty free for all. So, what is it? Well, I think it's only appropriate that we show a little bit of it while I introduce the topic here. We have a couple of videos that were sent our way. We'll start with the Kickstarter one, of course, so you guys can see what's going on with this. Let me just full screen this and rewind, hit play. So, royalty free for all is literally what you're seeing on screen. We have two of the lead people, not as Barry so adequately put it, not the lead developer, but two of the faces that have been at all the events I've seen anyways. They've been doing a lot of the marketing for it, along with Kit and Krista that they're working with. And Kit and Krista dropped a video yesterday. We'll be looking at that one in a bit. And this is really cool because their company name is Quadruple A Games, or that's how I pronounce it. I don't know. There's 4 A's. So
say
Games. There we go. So yeah, we all got to play it there besides at PAX West, besides N64 Josh, because
my bad. I'm sorry.
And you hung out with us like a huge chunk of PAX. Like, at no point did you ask us, "Hey, where is that game?" I mean, had opportunity.
Well, I had a pretty good idea where it was. I just didn't even know what the logo looked like. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be
Google. You should be Googling, man. Googling. Well, now you're being shown now. You're being shown right now. These are some of their stretch goals on Kickstarter. So let's just throw it to the people that are here. I don't know who wants to go first, Colin or Bear. Like, why don't you guys introduce the game and like what it is and maybe like what inspired it? And
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So it's called Royalty Free for All. Like I said, it is a royalty-free mashup game. We've got Sweeney Todd, Lancelot, the Loch Ness Monster, Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. I don't remember exactly what it was a couple of years ago. There was some news story about some, we're in this sort of golden era of iconic characters entering the public domain. And there was some news story about one of them with some other additional complications. I don't remember exactly what. And it just kind of sparked a joke. We've got all of these crossover platform fighters that all kind of have this like umbrella of a corporation that owns all of their rights. And so they don't need to make legal negotiations to cross over with each other. And it felt like just about everybody who had a stable of characters like that, it was already making a game. And I thought, it'd be really funny if we took the other umbrella, which is characters that everybody owns, not just, one corporation can smack this guy versus that guy, but anyone can reimagine characters from the public domain in any way that they like. So we made Sweeney Todd an electric razor who looks like a barber pole. We were trying to, I couldn't decide between Dorothy and Toto for the Wizard of Oz rep. I knew like it would be cute to give the dog the magic slippers. Public domain creative freedom says I can just make Dorothy a dog. We can do it both at once. So it's been a blast, trying to go through and like honor all of these like classic characters that everybody knows and loves, but at the same time do something that makes it unique and really feels like its own.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Barry, you have anything you want to share from like the dev side of some of this excitement?
I would say that the big thing that drew me to it is that I have wanted to work with hand-drawn 2D animation for years now. And the thing about hand-drawn 2D animation is that I can't do it on my own. And Colin has one of the most talented artists I've ever seen working for him. And now I get the honor of like programming the animations to like interpolate properly and like draw beautifully and like alias the edges. And it's just like, I just get to polish this awesome artist's really excellent animation work. And I love hand animated games so much.
Yeah, and it's funny, you can actually see the development of Barry's work in real time from like older trailers. You go back and notice like our graphics are just a lot crunchier and a lot less smooth. And it's like there's an actual record in real time of how much better and better our game looks, the further along we go.
I remember the comment that'll always stick with me from the first PAX West is I just overheard someone saying we had a fun pixel art style. And I was like, no, we don't. And then he anti-alias the heck out of it, and now it looks nice and smooth.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We've also got a fun little, like, it's sort of a classic film grain shader too. We haven't shown it off really yet, but It's sort of
That's
like, you know,
cool.
if you want this old like VHS look, which I do, yeah, thank you.
Right
I
up
think
my
it's pretty
alley.
cool too.
Honestly, I think that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
really go crazy on those and make sure that we can get a lot of really nice, you know, visual flair baked in here.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously the 4 co-hosts of the Nintenbyte podcast, we got to play this. I should correct this. We all got to get our ass kicked by Thunderstash. So
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I mean, look, it is what it is.
Thank
Look,
you.
to be fair, I'm the only one that didn't get a victory. In fact, I'm the only one that was always in last place. Remember how guys always told you I'm not a fighting game guy? I think I proved it. Last place every time on a yet to be released game. It is what
But
it
did
is.
you still enjoy it?
Oh, of course I did.
There we go. That's what we're going for.
That being said, let's first we'll go. I want to get all of our co-hosts here thoughts on this quick, since we did get to play it. And I want to start with Stash, the man who kicked our ass, because he actually did a preview on this. So what are your thoughts on this game? Just from like, obviously we're on the player side. We, you know, development wise, we're not part of this. We're just playing. How did you feel about the game? Do you like how it played? Are you excited for it?
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. I definitely liked how it played. I feel like it's one of those games that's easy to learn, but can be harder to master, which is a good thing in a game like this, because there is strategy involved with how you fight. Obviously, I love the characters. I love the idea of this whole thing, royalty-free characters. You know, I told you guys at PAX, I think this is an absolutely brilliant idea, and I'm glad you're actually going out there and executing on this idea. I feel like the sky's the limit as well once we get through this Kickstarter when it comes to adding things to the game, because there's always going to be new characters that are going to be added into the royalty-free aspect of this. Another one of my big takeaways, though, was the soundtrack. When it comes to video game music, yeah, I'm a very big fan. I've been loving video game music since literally the 80s, you know, before it was, I guess, kind of cool to enjoy video game music. When it was a little niche back then. And I mean, you guys got David Wise, who to me is goated,
Yeah.
and Grant Kirkhope, possibly, right?
Yeah, Grant Kirkhope is a stretch goal alongside the Bigfoot tier. So we're revealing stretch goals, you know, as they're closer. And Nate, you mentioned, you know, they are a bit of a ways away, but the good news is when you cross the Kickstarter baseline, they have a new feature called late pledging. So as long as we make it through that goal, Bigfoot, Frankenstein, Dante, they're not out of sight. You know, we leave the campaign up, and who knows, you know, what could happen if that's where people want to go to buy royalty free for all and get, you know, backer rewards, digital art books, behind the scenes commentary. We're going to have a playtest branch where you can try early access content that's in development. There's an amazing little plush pack. I should have gotten my plush out to demo it, but there's a lot of great backer rewards that'll just stay up as long as we cross that goal. So I think that there's a pretty good chance for everybody to join the battle.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, for those watching, if you're listening to the audio version, go check out the video version so you can see what the game's all about. And yeah, if you guys obviously want to back the game, you totally can. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. The thing is, as he said, you know, they just got to get to the goal. Once they get there, you know, things can kind of just keep growing organically from there, because it's just going to get more and more attention. We were talking about before the show, IGN's actually featured this in a short that got like 500,000 views, which is insane.
Yeah.
Like,
that was a good day.
So, you know, it's just going to get more and more attention. And especially if it gets like, you know, if they hit their stretch goal, or not their stretch goal, their original goal of like the 40,000, which is really close. They're at like 32 or almost 33,000. If they get there, this is when it comes to console. This is when you guys in the chat can be like, oh man, I can get this maybe on Nintendo or Xbox or PlayStation. Like, that's a really exciting way, because obviously right now, you know, most indie games start out on Steam, but already being able to get a stretch goal to come to console is really huge. And that is just there. It's not even a stretch goal on Kickstarter. It's just they get funded. They're bringing it to console. That's huge. That's going to get a whole new wave of news cycles out there, because all the big Nintendo websites and PlayStation websites, and you know, they can pick up the news and be like, hey, this game's coming to our platform now. It hit the goal. Go check it out. I think there's a lot here, and the Bigfoot tier is one I really want to get One, I think Bigfoot's one of the coolest looking characters.
Thank you. Yeah,
Sure.
he's so my speed. I could
we'll
go
throw it
on for a
screen here in a bit,
shockingly
yeah.
long amount of time
Yeah.
of how much actually went into his design, which at the end of the day is just a big foot, literally as stupidly as possible. But
That's
there's
so
actually
awesome.
like a whole lot of like cryptid lore and deep, like I did my research on this guy. I didn't just make him a foot for no reason.
And then again, obviously getting Grant Kirkhope, who I have worked with one time. I worked with him on one of the shows that we did. He gave us
No
some music
kidding.
for one of our live shows. He's super easy to work with and just a really nice guy. So
Yeah,
being able to get him added as well, along with David Wise. Are you kidding me? You get David
that's
Wise.
what I thought.
Are you kidding me? He's a legend.
So, it's I suppose I shouldn't speak for him, but I think this is fair to share that I was just getting in contact with him and he pointed out Scott Joplin to me. We're using the Maple Leaf Rag in all of our trailers, and I was asking him if he wanted to do songs for our Loch Ness stage and our coal mine stage. Because obviously, growing up, I played some games that David Wise scored as foundational texts for me. And so our stages, I knew he would be able to knock each of those themes out of the park. And he said yes. And that was for stretch goal, development. But then he mentioned that Scott Joplin is one of his favorite composers ever. The guy, I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't know if I'm quoting right, but I think he said that Scott Joplin was the reason he became a composer in the first place.
Oh, cool.
And again, don't quote me on that, but it was just phenomenal to see. And I said, that's so full circle, because literally David Wise is the guy who got me into making music as well. We were talking about this in the pre-show. That's like a pretty personally significant hobby of mine. And it just blew my mind. So I said, well, we know that we're doing several Scott Joplin songs in this game already. Do you want to just hop in right away instead of waiting, months down the line for these Kickstarter battle themes? So that was really, really fortuitous. I couldn't believe it.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome.
You got to do what you love.
Oh yeah, totally got to do what you love. So I'm moving the layout around a little bit to make it look nicer.
You're good.
Okay. Does anyone on? You know what, Gamebird? What are your thoughts on the game so far? Actually,
Yeah. I had an absolute blast playing this game at PAX West with all of you guys.
Thank you.
Just so much fun, and I as well love hand-drawn art styles, especially in games. And the look of this game, it's going to be timeless, which is so cool about it. And all the color schemes for the characters that you're able to swap through. I especially like the black and white. I feel like it makes the characters look like they were just pulled straight out of a coloring book, which is really cool to me. And just the variety of the stages, like Thunderstash and Nate said, the music in the game's fantastic. We got to smash that stretch goal. Grant Kirkhope is actually my favorite video game composer of all time. Just so many memories from like Banjo and GoldenEye, and even a lot of his recent work. He kind of reminds me of like when I was a kid. I was like, oh, Grant's like the Danny Elfman of video games, because his music's so weird and zany. But this game was just so fun, and I have to mention, Stash may have kicked our ass 99% of the time, but I did win the first battle as Lancelot. I decimated everyone in the first round. I think I like had a weird thumb cramp from traveling, and it just messed up the rest of my game.
You did. You just didn't do a lot with your lance after that.
But another thing I really appreciate about this game that I noticed right away is that all the characters feel wildly different from one another. Very unique gameplay. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's a little bit rare. I feel like when you're going through characters in a lot of other games, you feel a lot of the similarities, but everything felt so every fighter felt like such an individual, from the way they move to the way they fight. It was very noticeable for me right away. And I got a chance to try every fighter. But yeah, this is one, like Stash said, it's really easy to just jump in and play, but there's definitely some skill to it. And I felt like the more I was spending time on a character, I was like, oh, I'm getting a better feel for this. Another thing I want to mention, we did a stage, and maybe you guys can help me out with the name of this, because this was such a highlight of the demo for me. I was just smiling from ear to ear the whole time. It's the stage where there's no walls and you don't fall off, but your body's flying. Or is it a mode? I forget. We did a
Might be a mode. The haunted stage, the screen wrap mode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Screen wrap mode.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I had the biggest smile on my face the whole time.
I've never played anything
cracking
like that.
up.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear it. Yeah, I love screen wrap.
It's very silly.
Yeah, so I did want to mention Grant Kirkhope again real quick, since you brought it up right as they were coming into this 100 Acre Wood stage. To be clear, that's the song that he will be doing, the Teddy Bears Picnic, for this 100 Acre Wood stage, which comes in a daytime and a nighttime theme. So it will definitely remind you of your childhood video games for sure.
That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, this game's dripping with style. And
thank you.
Guys, like this is like, we got to hit that stretch goal. This is the type of game that, like, sitting down with 3 friends or brothers and sisters or family is like it's the classic experience that you just don't get enough of today in modern gaming. So yeah, I had a blast. We all left this demo, I recall very specifically, saying that was so much fun. Wish we could have played more. You know, I think we had a meeting coming up
for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to speak on some of, like, a couple of you have said that it's you know, really easy to pick up and play, and that's kind of the idea behind it, is that, like, you know, the most famous platform fighter in the world is my favorite of all time. You can imagine that I largely made this game because I wanted to play more content. And one of the biggest problems I have playing any platform fighting game is that they have, you know, directional attacks for 3 different strengths of buttons. They have grabs, they have advanced text, they have just all kinds of situational stuff that, like, people will look at those games and say, that looks awesome, I really want to play. And then they'll pick up a controller. And I'm talking generally about people who don't play video games, not people who grow up with the platform fighters for 20 years. We play them no problem. But when you're trying to show someone for the very first time, no matter their age, or maybe they just don't play video games very much, a lot of people jump out of this genre right away. So I wanted to figure out, you know, how do I make a game that actually brings people in, and eventually they can play other platform fighters with me, and not just, you know, this one and this one alone. And so one of the ways that we simplified things is by taking the same, like, strength setup of, like, you know, attacks, heavy attacks and special attacks, but we stripped away the directional buttons. So it just, if you're on the ground, you do 1 of 3 strengths of attacks, and if you're in the air, you do 1 of 3 strengths of attacks. So it's a lot less new information for people to absorb when they're playing for the first time. It's still, like, you still need to move fast and think even faster. You need to know what these moves are going to do. You need to know how to space and how to outsmart people. But you're going to get to that point so much faster in a game like this than anything else out there right now.
Sure. Totally.
Yeah. And I think most importantly for new players, it's hard to do a missed input, right? Like you're not gonna, like, accidentally do an attack and then not remember how to, because there's only 3 buttons.
Yeah, you're not going to accidentally do, like, a reverse jump back air and then have no idea why, like, you were trying to do something else. And, you know, a lot of that kind of confusion happens in these games. But we're sort of getting it down to its basics, so you can just jump in and win.
Yeah, and it's not like there's anything wrong with games that have that high of a skill.
Oh no, we love them.
Yeah, but
that's why we're here.
There is definitely a dearth of games for people who are interested in platform fighters and are not ready to commit to it like a job.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. There's a certain indie game that came out recently that very much feels like that. Hours and hours on one boss fight. Great game though. Great game.
I'm
Eric,
also playing that game.
yeah, dude, that song is incredible.
Yeah.
Eric, you got any thoughts on royalty free for all?
Yeah, no, it was I remember PAX East. Nate and I were just walking around and kind of just killing time looking at stuff, and we saw the game and we're like, you know what? Let's try it. Because it looks like Smash, why not? So we sat down, we played it, absolutely loved it. Nate leaves a card, and little did we know.
Collins in my
Yeah.
DMs like 10 minutes
Yeah.
later.
Little did we know, we actually know the people that are behind the game. So we loved this even before we knew, who was behind it. And then when we found out, we just made us love it even more. Yeah, no, it's a whole lot of fun. I mean, everybody said it. We played for an hour. It felt like 5 minutes. It was just, this game makes you lose track of time. It's a great just sitting down with friends and bullshitting and trash talking and stuff like that. So, this game is so much fun.
I wanted to trash talk so bad as Stash was just wiping the floor with us, but I'm like, this is a professional setting right now. We're just meeting you guys for the first time, but all I want to do is talk shit.
Dude, there was some shit talk.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just was off of the PAX floor.
Yeah.
We kind of waited.
Yeah.
Like, someone's going to get this on camera, and then they're going to be like, oh, look at these assholes. I'm like, whatever.
Look, as long as you're having fun, I mean, that's the point of the game. We just want to make people smile,
There were definitely some people who kept coming back. The trash talk did occur. So
It's
it
a
was
core
one, there was
tenet
one,
of the community.
one
And you
kid who
can
would
have it
not
again.
give up trying to 1v1 against the developers, me and Chris, and he told us, "Don't let me win," and we didn't. We didn't.
So I got a fun question for you guys, because I like reflecting on my time playing the game with the Nintenbyte crew, and I'm thinking about how fun that mode was. I think seeing Eric's numbers being like close to 1,000, it was just like
I maxed it
flying
out.
around the screen.
Yeah.
Do you guys have, like, is there a specific memory in your time working on this game, a match that's just super funny or memorable, or even like a moment of like pride, or like we did it, or I don't know, like, is there like a standout match for you guys, or
Oh yes.
anything like that?
Match.
Yes.
Yeah, Barry,
so
you want to speak on that?
I had been playing the game a little. Like, I've been playing the game for a while, being a developer on it. Obviously, I played a good amount at like the first PAX West, and then Colin and I in the team, we've done a lot of network tests. We've played a lot internally. The first time, I was just casually testing the game with the combat balance programmer guy, the fighting game guy on our team. I was like pretty excited. I was like, here we go. We're playing the sort of like simplified platform fighter. I'm gonna have a chance against this guy who's really good at this genre. I just got 3-stocked immediately, and I was like, what? What? And I got a little tilted. I started complaining that characters were unbalanced, and then remembered that was my fault. And I was like, this can work.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is just totally cracked. And we took this game
Wild.
to Evo. People really liked it. Like, it's not we've got a wave dash button, like a short hop button. Like, we're really just trying to lower the barrier of entry and not actually lower like the skill ceiling experience,
Just the floor, not the
That's
ceiling.
awesome. I mean, it shows it in the right ways, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
been a
you.
blast. I mean, and it's been really rewarding, especially to like, we're in the thick of it every day. I'm more tired than I've ever been in my life doing this indie developer thing. And it's like, when you get to PAX and you see like just how many people walk by, smile, sit down, play, stay, come back, like, it's just so rewarding. Like, that's what makes
I
it worth
bet.
it, really.
Yeah. We only got like one or two people who were like, Most people were like pretty into it, which was very inspiring. Because you never know going in if what you did that appeals to you actually appeals to other people. But
Right.
it so far so good.
Yeah, no, and it's a big test too, right? Because like
Yeah.
the genre is the way it is for a reason. Like, and this is sort of like the idea behind the game is that all of these other platform fighters that have come up in the last sort of 10, 15 years, they want to go for like a game, like a early 2000s era, like super fast, super technical. Like you learn a bunch of things on each character, and you just almost like a tool assisted fighting game style,
Right.
like speed run of like high technical. And it's just people who like silly cartoons and don't play video games very much are never, not never, that's so wrong, but they're gonna have a much easier time sticking with just 3 buttons and a whole bunch of laughs before they can start to understand, okay, when do I pull out again, reverse, back air, like be reversing in these high technical things. They're going to want to be able to learn with a lot less complicated, like flight controls. They don't want to go to pilot school in order to learn to play a fighting game. So
Absolutely. Yeah, my thought 90% of the time was stay away from Thunderstash in each match, to be honest with you. That's it. I was just having a blast. Josh or Alyssa, do you have any questions or anything that you guys want to know about Royalty Free For All for Colin or Barry?
So actually, you guys inspired me to go and back it on Kickstarter. So I actually,
oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're welcome, of course. And I wanted to say they have so many like options on Kickstarter. This is the first time I ever even used Kickstarter. And guys, they have an option for $15 and you
World
get to
first,
pick
everybody.
the game. You get to pick the game on what platform you want. So you back it for $15, help them reach their goal, and then you get the game. It's a great deal in my opinion. So I did that.
Thank
and
you.
then I also was yeah, of course. And then I also was getting like emails then, I think, and then I signed up for the playtest. So I was actually playing earlier today before the show. But I didn't get to play with a bunch of people. I just played on my own. But I thought the game looked beautiful. The art is really, really nice. I played as Nessie, Dorothy, and Sakura.
Nice.
But I could
what
definitely
did you think of them?
Yeah.
I liked how they really do feel very different, and it did take me like a little bit used to get into some of the controls based on, because I was kind of using Smash logic, try to like do stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't have to think this hard.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah,
I wasn't playing with other people either, so it wasn't like I had to really like. I was just trying to just see how the game was, but I could totally see me and my friends getting together and playing that. And my fiance came in the room and was watching me for a little bit, and he's like, "Yeah, that seems like really fun." So,
Aw.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And it seems like a lot of people feel that way. Like it really is just the kind of like, I take this philosophy of like, fighting game players don't necessarily like people who, do 4 jumps in the air and then drop a rock on you. But like,
Yeah.
that's kind of the funniest thing that you can do is just keep jumping and dropping and jumping and dropping. We made a whole character about it who flies up
I
in a twister
remember
and
we
drops a
had-
doghouse on you.
There were multiple weeks of internal debates over whether or not chaining the doghouse was too cheap, and Colin was eventually like, "Yeah, it's cheap, and that's why it's funny." And
Yeah,
it's
it's
staying
just funny.
in.
The number one design philosophy is it funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. I personally I did not master this character in our short time playing, but it was the character. I don't know why I was drawn to Oliver Twist. I love the design. I love that he burrows underground, and the longer you're under, you create a bigger mushroom vine that shoots up.
Yeah.
And it was just such a cool little character that I was like, man, this is the one that I think I want to master. I don't know. That might change when the game fully releases and stuff.
Yeah, we don't know who else.
I really enjoy. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Josh, you got any questions for Colin or Barry?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm a pretty big Smash player. Like, since learned the game competitively, which was, I mean, it was like climbing a mountain for sure. There was no question. I would continually just invite people into my stream that were way better than me, let them just beat my ass, and then they would literally pull a Morpheus on me and be like, "Why did I beat you?" And I'm like, I don't know, because I fell off the stage. What do you want me to say? So like it really does sound like this is going to be because it's one of those things, like once you learn Smash, to then try to, play it like a party game, it's not going to be as fun for those around you, right? And it sounds like this one, obviously there's going to like you guys were talking, it's you got 3 stocked or whatever the case may be, but it sounds like the skill gap may not be quite as crazy like it is in Smash, and that's just going to really lend itself to being a party game. I don't know if it was mentioned or if I saw it, but are there items like in Smash, or is it more like the competitive Smash?
So we have items in 3 different areas of the stretch goals for 3 different tiers of items. So some are like basic snackables. Some of them, the second tier, I'll say it right here, is that we can't, because it's 2D, like in a 3D game, you can pick up an item. And so you just graft the item model to the character's hand model. But in 2D, you need to, in order to hold an item, you need to draw every character in every frame all over again, just with the thing in their hand, which is several thousands of drawings.
Sure.
So we're going to give them all telekinesis, and they just go like this, and then they pick an item up. And so we get a whole new set of items that you can hold and throw. And the excuse is, no, they all just have telekinesis now.
Oh, that's cool. Super cool. So, I mean, Stash, I'll ask you, it sounds like you're a pretty big Smash player. Like, I'm assuming competitively, yes?
Yeah, I've played in and won a tournament or 2.
Nice. So,
but I don't probably play as much as you do.
But you picked it up pretty quick. Like, somebody that's an avid Smash player, like, is this going to be one I definitely want to put on my radar?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Cool. This is very fun, and like I mentioned before, you can get very strategic with combat and just how you navigate the battlefield, by like choosing to not strike an enemy here because you see like a wind up animation from someone else, instead jump over them and then go behind them and hit them and then try to knock them off the screen. It's like everything that you love about Smash, minus some of the chaos that comes with all of the items. So it feels almost like a more competitive style Smash.
And I never play with any items on Smash. Like I don't turn them on ever. So.
Oh, well then, yeah, dude, this is totally your cup of tea.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
I was kind of wondering too, is it like you guys played Air Riders at PAX? Like, is it kind of like, Smash is to Mario Kart as royalty free is to Air Riders, like just kind of less buttons, less like it not quite as crazy, but still a ton of fun.
Yeah, and still the depth is still there, right? Yeah. Because you played it obviously, so that despite it having not a lot of actions on the controller, that there's actually still a lot of depth there.
For sure.
So
okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, we're trying to make sure to design it so that like some characters just really show off the basics of like Dorothy. Every single one of her attacks just does the thing. You hit the button and she does the attack. But then Lilith, we've got a character who has a projectile. It's just one button. It's her ground special, but she can aim it in 5 different directions and charge it at the 3 power levels, and then juggle the projectile that she launches with any of her attacks. So like we have this huge gradient scale from like, just really straightforward 6 possibilities, jump in and have fun, to like, you can really think and mess around with how to get like extremely mathematically perfect. We really, again, we don't want the simplification of controls to take away from some of the thinkier stuff that goes on when you're playing these games.
Yeah. I got a question I got to ask. The name Royalty Free for All, it's too good. How did the name come right away, or was it?
It was pretty
other
quick.
Names that you were judging, because it's so good. Like it makes so much sense. I was like, I don't know. It makes so much sense that it just seems like it was really hard to come up with for some reason.
Yeah, well,
but
no,
perfect.
Honestly, it was in that same brainstorming session where I just thought of the game fully as a joke that it just came to me like a light switch.
Yeah.
And that was almost like my green light of like, well, you have to do it now. Like you,
Yeah.
you just got that gold from the universe. You got to do it.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
totally.
a perfect
That-
Wheel of Fortune answer. Before and after.
Yeah, that definitely feels. I don't know. The name is just so perfect. When
Thank you.
you know Nate first told me, I'm thinking like, damn, royalty free for all. It feels like one of those, like, I don't know, the detective, like seeing the missing piece in the puzzle. Oh my god, like
Yeah.
you know, it all makes sense now. Like that revelation moment. But that's cool.
Yeah, word. Thank you.
I also
Yeah,
appreciate that it. Oh, sorry.
no,
Oh,
you go
I
ahead.
appreciate that it emphasizes something that I think is, and this is a personal opinion, that a lot of platform fighters, it's very 1v1 focused, and I mean 1v1s are
Mhm.
awesome, but I've always felt that 3-player matches were where it's at, because there's just that. I mean, obviously, if you're going like hyper competitive, you want the consistency, you want the like reps and drilling. But 3-player, there's just so many emergent things that start to happen. Stuff gets so weird so fast, and underdogs come back a lot more often. And I like that we're emphasizing that that's like the main mode. I mean, 1v1 is also front and center, but yeah, 3-player, 4-player is just it's lovely.
Yeah,
And I
you can
just
hop
want to
into
jump in
the-
real quick.
Totally.
Really quick, I just want anyone who's joined us a little bit later, the link to the Kickstarter is in the description box. So please, if you guys are interested, check this one out, support this. Let's help them meet their stretch goal. We got less than a week, and this stretch goal is going to bring it to all consoles. I mean, guys, think about playing a badass hand-drawn 2D Smash like on your brand new Switch 2 with friends and family. Let's get that goal.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
we're really excited. And I think also like the free for all aspect of it is something that is not actually in any like competitive fighting game scenes right now. All the games will sort of default to 1v1. You know, you can have some tags and some you can do, sometimes there will be doubles games, but I think with fewer moves per character, the free for all mode really shines, and it's up to the fighting game community how the, like, you know, competitive meta would develop. But I do see sort of an opportunity vacuum to have a free for all competitive game where, as Barry was saying, you know, people can come back a lot more dramatically, a lot quicker. And there's kind of like this ebb and flow to 4-player battles where it's like, especially with a limited move pool, the increased energy and possibility space by having 4 players constantly interacting with what one guy is setting up for another, and you know they're doing over here, but then they come together, and it's just it's a lot of fun, and I think that there's nothing really like it in the space right now.
Awesome.
Hey, it's that guy.
Also, for anyone who wants to see like a lot of extended footage, I do have a video on my channel of all of us playing, and I think it's about at least 15 matches. And I had taken the direct feed footage that was provided, and I linked up the audio to sync it perfectly, because I think it's really important that you guys hear the music in the game because it's so good.
Yeah.
So
Thank
again,
you.
if you want to see more, check that out. You got it.
Yeah, that came out really nice. And I want to take the opportunity to shout out our composer, Josh Cominelli, who this is his first credit in a game. And I got to be so
Wow.
real. Like, he churns it out so fast and so good. Like, I can't believe the kind of talent that we're working with here. I mean, it's really a blessing to be able to be putting this kind of stuff out. He's remixing like the literal oldest song known to history is in right behind me. I've got the Plato's Allegory of the Cave stage as my discussion background here. And so we remixed a song that was literally discovered smashed up in a cave. So we've got, you know, all that kind of stuff up through like Old McDonald's, and there's some comedy songs that were released into the public domain in like the 2000s. I think they were made in the 60s, but we've just got this huge spread of stuff to listen to and remix, and it's just such a creative, you know, fun opportunity every single time.
Cool. We had a super chat come in from a fellow YouTuber Flipping the Sweat. He said, "Hey, always good to see a fun new indie game. indie support was essential to Switch One. Thrilled to see the trend continue. Hell yeah. Let's get this game on Switch, guys. Okay, let's support the Kickstarter. Link in the description.
Yeah, there's no better place we'd like to be, truly.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, the two biggest indie places in the world are always, at least lately, seem to be Nintendo and Steam. That's where you got to be.
I really like the spelling of that guy's username. That was lovely.
Do you have any more questions for these guys?
I'm curious what characters people would like to see join the battle.
If you guys got like general game dev questions too, we're happy to talk about that stuff as well.
Absolutely. How hard is it to balance a game like this?
Oh my.
I'm the wrong guy to ask because my directive is if it's funny. I think Chris would have some strong opinions on that.
Yeah, I would say the hardest thing about balancing it for me specifically is that when you go to test, like if you want to test whether something is working, you just do the thing, right? But if you want to test whether it's balanced, you have to like battle people of different skill levels and accurately assess your own skill level and see what you are capable of doing with that thing. And I am not a competitive platform fighter player. Like I usually rank myself like the top tier of the casual market, right? So it's like there's never a time where I feel like I am testing it with a proper control group. So it's very much just like every time you test the game, you see how it goes, and over the course of like 100 playtests, you start to get a feel for what people are spamming and what people are never touching. And then there's obviously a lot more like really technical, tight stuff that Chris does on the like balancing particular motions and whatnot. But for me, it's very much, is that attack even getting used? Like I've watched 100 kids play this at PAX now, and nobody has pressed that button. We need to make sure that attack is actually useful, that kind of thing. So it takes a very long time, and it's a very intuitive, almost, I don't know, like meditative process or some nonsense like that.
Yeah. See, on the dev side, I've always just wondered, like in general, what's it like making a video game from like a developer point of view?
It's stressful.
Like,
it's so much fun.
I've never made
It's
one, so
a lot
I've
of
done
work.
QA testing before, but I've never actually been on the development side.
Yeah.
Do you mean like what's it like what's the vibe of working in the team, or do you mean like on the literal level what makes a video game work?
All of the above.
Okay, so the strangest realization that I've had in the past several years of working on video games is that, and there was some popular like meme about this at one point, it's like the first 10% of making the game is like, oh man, this rules. Oh, nobody told me I had to finish making the game. Like, you think like I've made my character walk around, and I mean, even if you aren't working with a modern engine, that's a nightmare in and of itself. But and I've made my character attack the enemies. I've made my character not be able to walk through walls. But have you made your character capable of choosing a dialogue option, which advances a quest line, which changes a global variable? Like, there is a nightmare number of just math problems to solve that you would never, that if you do them correctly, no one will ever consider that they existed. It's bizarre. They are black magic. I can't believe video games actually get released.
You know, when you're eating ramen and you like think you got like just enough, you know, in your spoon or your chopsticks or however you want to consume the ramen, and then the last little bit of it pulls up like 3 more spoonfuls and you got way too much food in your mouth. That's what it can be like bug testing a game. You know, you think you fix something in one place and then it causes a new crash over here. And it's just like this constant mountain of like, oh, what am I doing? What am I getting into? And it all ultimately works out because, you know, we've got great talented people who always find what the issue is and know where to look. But it is a lot like, you know, in order to sort of do the thing, you have to do it like several times almost in order for it to like finally work in congruence with everything else that's going on in the game. Because every attack, every single thing you can do is a whole lot of systems.
And also, if we have any students watching, pay attention during trigonometry class. You're going to think to yourself, this is stupid. Why am I learning the Pythagorean theorem? The reason is because literally everything that happens in a video game happens on triangles, and that's just you'll figure that out. I can't. It's not worth it. Pay attention during trigonometry class. You need to.
Heck yeah. We have a question coming in about game dev from Flipping the Sweat. He said, with trends such as subcontracting and tools such as Blender democratizing game devs, it is slowly becoming easier to realize a concept into a game. What recent trends or tools have you guys utilized?
From my perspective, I mean, Barry can speak more to a couple of like technical things. Like, although we're working on a version of Game Maker that's the long-term stability version, so it's a couple years out of date and maybe doesn't have the most cutting-edge stuff as of right now. But in terms of like the development process, logistically, as an operation, we use services. I mean, like Discord is a huge one. Fiverr has been really helpful in helping. Like, I made a font when I was in middle school, and it was on my computer, and I've been using it for like our game font, but it's all like out of balance, and the letters are scaled to different sizes and things, and so it's like become sort of attached. The shape language is attached to the brand now, but the font is a disaster in terms of scaling and positioning stuff. I have to do every single letter manually every single time I write anything. And so we just recently, someone was able to come in through Fiverr and make a font that looks better and saves a lot of time. And so those are the kinds of practices that are like, getting people on board for a quick thing that we don't have the skills in house to do has been a total game changer.
Yeah. And then as far as the open source stuff goes, like, I think about 5 years from now is when the floodgates, you're going to really have seen them open on that, because like, Blender, he's talking about Blender, the open source 3D modeling and animation software. From my understanding, that really just hit a point where it's like, this is a professional tool that is free. And same goes for the game engine Godot, I imagine is what you're thinking of, which is a very cool game engine. We're using Game Maker Studio, which is what I learned in, but yeah, Godot is very promising. And so specifically but the thing that maybe hasn't been touched on that's been going on for like 20 years now is like, programming has always sort of been a democratized thing. Like, so there's a whole community of people using Game Maker, right? And a lot of people will post explicitly Creative Commons royalty-free like scripts that you can run in your game. So for example, there's just like 100 examples of this that accumulate. So like, every time an animation ends in our game, you would think that'd be easy to calculate. You know exactly when that happens. You can see it with your eyeballs. Video games don't have eyeballs. So there's like this complicated math formula that's just hard to remember. And you just grab that from the open source directory, and like, because people in Game Maker are always talking to each other. And now every time an animation ends, we can run a script really easily. And yeah, I could have figured that out, but it would have taken 2 hours, and 100 scripts, that accumulates 300 friggin' hours. And it's really cool to A, use those resources, and B, contribute some of them back.
Heck yeah. I think it's important we highlight this because this just happened and I watched it go up on your Kickstarter tank sword. All right, guys, you got my $15 because I love Smash and I like you guys.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah, you're gonna like our game. We got a lot of good jokes for people.
Already got a new Kickstarter. I think there's been at least I think 2 or 3. I think I've witnessed in the chat say that they're supporting it. So that's awesome, guys.
Thank you. Guys.
I believe that man's name, or that person's name, deserves being read out loud. T-Forkazord? T-Forkazord? Is that Tankazord?
That's
pretty great.
Before, yeah.
That's awesome. God, I miss Leet Speak, man.
Oh yeah. Well, that takes me back.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyone
else have some very pointed questions for these guys before we move on to anything else?
If so, I had to step away for a couple minutes, but favorite characters. What are your guys' favorite characters to play?
That's a good one.
My favorite character is a surprise.
Oh, okay.
Now, I think I'm a little biased because I spent so many hours getting his air special to work. But Oliver Twist, I think, is just such a lovely character. And oh my gosh, that air special has like 6 different distinct like code states or attack phases and so many different branches of how it can go out. And all of his attacks are just so strange, and he's so funny. I think he looks ridiculous, and I love Oliver Twist.
Yeah, he's pretty good. And that move did genuinely take like 2 full weeks. Like usually we could do like 2 or 3 moves, in a day once we've got the animations done. But like
This one was a
that
nightmare.
that one held us up.
Yeah. And I ended up, we accidentally left a dev placeholder in there for months that I finally removed, like right after PAX West. I was like, no, no one can look at this blank white circle anymore. It needs to be palette swapped and have leaves on it like the rest of his stuff. And so it
It
never,
looked
never
all right,
went.
but now it looks even better.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys on
Yeah.
characters. Have you considered Winnie the Pooh or Mickey Mouse?
We have.
It's a really interesting question.
I've got one for you. What about Sherlock Holmes?
We have.
Okay.
Actually, I got one too. And so I was looking at a list of public domain characters.
Yeah.
And I literally saw the guy that is on the cover of my mustache wax. And that is this right here. This is Samson. If you shave your beard, you lose all your strength. And I'm like, dude, that would be pretty funny to see that in the game.
Yes.
I mean, Samson would be awesome as a long hair haver.
Yeah,
it is.
right?
It is plausible that I considered Samson. If so, I don't remember it. We've got
just
a
to be clear,
spreadsheet of like 700 to like 1,000 characters that I made many years ago.
Yeah. There is a character in the game already from like Mesopotamian and like religious mythology. We've got Lilith in there.
Yeah, Lilith is
that's
known
right.
as the mother of demons. She takes on a very sweet and unassuming form here in Royalty Free for All, but you'll notice she has a bit of a mean streak the way she whips her hair at you or shoots little seed bullets.
Proper whip crack sound effect on a few of those. That's a fun character.
She's not as sweet as she seems.
Yeah.
Other character considerations? Have you guys considered Aladdin? I love Aladdin.
Oh, I'm not sure we have looked into that character.
It was based on a really old story, isn't it?
It is.
I believe that's from 1001 Nights.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously, this is just stories I loved growing up as a kid. King Arthur and Merlin. They're apparently.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, totally. No, I really we
Sir
we
Lancelot's
don't
already
have.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Sir Lancelot. That's why I was like, but I love Merlin and King
Sir
Arthur.
Lancelot is the character from Arthurian legend at this time. We have a tier. I don't know that anyone's going to do it, but we have a tier where you can get like a costume in the game. So theoretically, someone can get a King Arthur costume for Lancelot. That if we made a sequel, we'd have the assets ready to go to like tweak 1 or 2 moves and make an Echo Fighter out of it. But
hey man, they give us enough money. They might do a friggin' skin. We could do a King Arthur skin for Dorothy.
I suppose.
Yeah, why not?
I got one more.
Non-binding. Yeah.
I was a sucker. Again, I like my history kind of characters in the mythology. Hercules.
Oh yeah. I will tell you right now, it's not in development, has not been teased in any sort of way, but I actually know exactly what we would do with a Greek mythos character. I think it's a pretty good one. I think it's a pretty good move.
This leads me to my question for the panel, though. What character would make you give $10,000 to see in this game? The top tier you get to pick from our short list of potentials.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if anyone has the rights to this at all.
I don't know.
I would like Lonk to get in there.
Lonk.
Zorldo.
That's interesting.
I don't know if anyone has rights to this character. I don't know. I'm just saying.
That would be a difficult situation to untangle. Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Meme characters, or someone might own the rights to the meme. I don't know.
If you want a meme character, you could go with Big Chungus.
Oh, Big Chungus.
Well, how old is that? How old is that cartoon?
Wasn't there a ruling on memes recently that the people who made them can claim copyright for them or something?
Yes, they can qualify for copyright.
Right,
but let's see. That meme comes from Wabbit Twubble, a cartoon released in 1941. So we're about 12 years away from
Okay.
All right, fair enough.
the good old Chungus.
Okay.
Good old Chungus.
Let me see. What would make me give 10,000? Like a realistic one, though.
Right.
What would make me give 10K?
Or 5K costume. We'll take that too.
I thought of two, but you'd have to negotiate probably. One of them is Yo Noid, of course.
Oh,
Oh.
And then
that
that would be
The
fun,
Noid.
right? Yo Noid, and the other would be Johnny 5.
Johnny
Because
5.
he should have had a video game in the 80s, Short Circuit.
Very true. Yes.
I'm not familiar.
Short Circuit.
Mhm.
Unfortunately,
It's
I believe this
Wally's dad.
character-
Yeah, it's basically, Wally's dad. You're right. Great movies.
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe he'll be locked up until 2081.
Yeah, no, I can get a hold of like the corporate of Domino's. I have like people who own a bunch of Domino's pizzas that are family friends.
Wait. Sorry, your character
don't know
suggests
what
Domino's
those-
Pizza.
Well, because they own the
You
Noid.
don't know the Noid?
They
No idea.
own the Noid.
Oh.
Their character, yeah, they own it. And technically, like there's some of the original commercials or whatever, they messed up the copyright, so like that's not copyrighted, but the actual character is copyrighted. So it's a little weird. There's probably a way to work around it where you can get some that looks like the Noid but isn't the Noid. You know what I mean? But
Well, what's that guy from Pizza Tower? Anyone play that game? I
Yeah,
didn't,
yeah.
unfortunately.
I
I want to,
No,
but I've been too busy
unfortunately.
on mine.
I know who
There's a
you're
character
referring
who
to.
does exactly that. It's like a legally distinct Noid.
Oh.
It's called
Oh,
Noise or Void, or I'm not sure.
I've got one.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, we could do stuff like that. Like,
I've got one.
We're focused on public domain today.
What
But
was one of
Yeah.
the parody characters that you mentioned, like as a potential the other day? The wet floor guy.
that wasn't even a parody character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just we're trying to think of like what characters could we if there's people out there. I don't know that I would do this personally on a campaign, but if there are, like, power to you. Make a short list of characters who we know we can get done with a labor cost that's enough to, like, we can fit them in as a Kickstarter award. So we've made a short list of characters where the whole concept is that we can save money on production because they animate simply, like switch on and off. There's a great example of that in Smash, a character like that. The wet floor guy might remind you of that. Simplified animations or simplified shapes. We've got a character that is Cap'n Hook, but he's like reanimated by the lunar eclipse, the blood moon eclipse. So he's like this big,
That's
angry
cool.
beard. His sword and his hook and two peg legs are both floating. So, it's a lot easier to animate a character like that than it is, someone with a lot of like human-like joints and motions. So we put together this list of characters that we know would fit the bill, literally. And that's where Wet Floor Guy comes from.
One that I think would be fun. I'm looking at the public domain. Some public domain is the Headless Horseman. But if you actually did a horseman, like it's a hybrid horseman.
Yes,
Who's got the pumpkin head.
Okay, so this is one of the funny little secrets I learned from talking to a few animators, is that as cool as they are, quadrupeds are the most expensive animations, but they are so sick when they're done correctly. They look awesome.
Well, if it's a headless horseman, then you could just have them bipedal.
Just animate a table.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, give him his horse for a couple attacks, something like that. Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
So, like you said, the one that I would give 10K for,
Mhm.
like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, especially if there's a move
Oh,
that
really?
transforms them.
That would be cool.
Interesting.
I know it's pretty complicated to have a transformation on a character, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jekyll and Hyde is a really popular character. We're getting a lot
Very
of requests for
popular.
him.
yeah. People know
Um,
that. That one's been
Him
done
and
a
Mr.
lot
Bleak.
over the years.
Did you say Colonel Bleep, Barry?
Sorry, him and Colonel Bleep get a ton of suggestions out of nowhere. Colonel Bleep. People
Colonel
love
Bleep,
him.
I'm sure nobody's heard of, but he's this great little alien guy. He's like the very first color cartoon, I believe it is, that aired in the United States. It's from, I think, 1957. And they never renewed the copyright, so he fell into the public domain, and we got a lot of nominations for him. We're doing like a showdown on our Discord where you nominate a public domain character and we just put them all in a bracket against each other. We're actually right now in a double rematch between Sherlock Holmes and a character named Six Gun Gorilla, who's a gorilla who escaped in the Wild West, and now he has guns. He robs trains and things.
That's
Yeah.
great.
I never heard of him, but he beat Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock came back from the losers bracket and is now rematching. And then the other one is Puss in Boots versus Cthulhu. So we've been having a lot of fun just kind of imagining, what would these hypothetical characters be like?
Cthulhu, man.
That's awesome.
Wild.
Yeah. But Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is up there. They I believe unfortunately just lost to Puss in Boots yesterday. But we're nearing the end, we're getting up to the last most popular of all characters.
Yeah, people don't realize Puss in Boots is very, very old.
Yeah.
That
Like the 1300s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun story.
Because I was like, it's Antonio Banderas. I'm like, yeah, okay, they did the thing, but like they got it from somewhere. If you pay, Shrek got all its things from somewhere.
Yeah. So basically, not their versions, but if it's in Shrek, it's fair game. It's a pretty good rule of thumb.
They use a lot of royalty-free fairy tale characters in that movie.
Yeah, with the Pinocchio, the blind mice. There's all sorts of good characters.
That's why Pinocchio can wear a thong. Because you can do whatever you want. It's out in public domain.
Yeah,
that live truly game. That's pretty good.
Oh, we have a super chat one here. I was thinking of this one. I was pretty sure it was royalty free. I wasn't 100% positive. Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh yeah. I did consider him. He didn't make it very far. But we do have an honorific for him in our coal mine stage, which is sort of Christmas Carol themed by Charles Dickens. It's the story with Ebenezer Scrooge in it. His gravestone is there.
Yeah.
As seen straight from the Ghost of not the Ghost of Future Presents. He's dead. He's not getting any more presents. I'm getting all mixed up on which ghosts do what. Christmas Future. There it is.
There's only 3 of them. It's like past, present, or future.
Also, just to clear the air, no, none of us worked at Blizzard. We are not that man.
No.
But Showbiz Pizza animatronics from Nightmare.
Is that what I think it is? I'm out of touch on this franchise. Is that what I think it is?
I'm not either.
Okay, I'll explain it. So you gotta have the oldest guy explain it. Is that me or is that you, Josh? You're Josh.
Thanks, it's me.
Okay, well we're right there. All right, so Showbiz Pizza is the precursor to Chuck E. Cheese. It's from the 80s, and they have animatronic animals that are very creepy,
terrifying
to some people, right? And we brought this up maybe a month ago, right? I was at a kid's birthday.
Pretty sure what FNAF is based on.
Yeah.
I think I was on for that one because I was like, I'm terrified of these things.
Yeah. So I was at a kid's birthday that I know, my friend's kid, and Chuck E. Cheese came out, like the actual mascot, and he ran for the doors. He's like, he was so scared, and I'm like, oh man, like imagine if he had to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? Because like there was like 5 of them.
I was the same kid. I grew up in Cincinnati. They got this place called Jungle Gyms, and they had an animatronic band.
Jungle Gyms?
I refused to go to the store with my mother because I was so scared that the band would play. It's terrifying.
I love this one. Nate comes in. So to be honest, you all look like guys from a select fighter screen. I think we need an Nintenbyte brawl. This game looks fun. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. If this thing gets there, maybe we do a little celebration match to kick off one of our live streams, one of our podcast episodes.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Hey, get this. I just looked it up because when you said Jungle Gym, that sounded very familiar. It says Jungle Gym's Showbiz Pizza refers to an animatronic figure, and it says it was in Ohio.
Yeah, that's the one I was
there
scared
you go.
of. Yeah.
Yeah, so you and I both saw that, man. Yeah, it was wild back then.
I think you should consider putting your mustache in the public domain. I think that would be a great idea.
Just a mustache fighting in the game.
Yeah, I would allow that.
Oh, that'd be sick. All right, guys.
Yeah,
Any closing questions before we move on?
I can't remember. Do you guys have like a lore section where it kind of just gives a brief description of each character's lore?
each character's lore is briefly described in their like YouTube videos. Every character has a trailer and a moveset guide. But it's not very strict lore. It's not very deep.
Oh, right.
The main thing that we're really, solid on is that Dorothy made a wish that she could talk to. She clicked her heels together, said, I want to speak to Toto, and it turned her into a dog. Oliver Twist, we've been saying it's convoluted. We've been saying he eats the magic beans that Jack, they're both like pickpockets. So Jack has the beans in his pocket, and Oliver Twist, that's a big thing in his story. He's a pickpocket. So he grabs the beans and he eats them, and it turns him into a magic bean. That's a little convoluted. Maybe he's just been a bean his whole life.
It's also one of those things where I remember Colin mentioning, like, you want to make a game where like every Easter egg that someone thinks is there is valid.
Yeah.
There's so many puns and references. We really want people to feel like if they think it might be true, there's a good chance. Like, we don't want to certify everything, but like, because we almost, you want that like myth making. Like that's kind of where a lot of these stories come from, is like folk tales that are told a million different ways. And I love, even at our own PAX events, some of us have little like things we like to say the character is like. Like I liked to say that the Nessie was the Loch Ness monster so small nobody could prove she existed. I don't know if that's like objectively what's going on.
Yeah,
but,
that's part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been saying the same thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nice. I got one other character for you.
Yeah.
And in kind of a nod to Nate a little bit, Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh. I haven't
Why is
figured
that a
out what to
nod
do
to
with
Nate?
Rumpelstiltskin.
I swear. If
'Cause
he appears in the game
with his
before I
last name.
change my last name.
Yeah.
My last
his-
name is Rumpeljants. It's a hyphenated name. I've been called Rumpelstiltskin my whole life.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
You know who else is public domain? I just looked it up. It's not on the list. Santa Claus.
Yeah, Lancelot's got a Santa Claus.
Yeah, I
skin.
saw the
Oh,
the
nice.
costume.
It doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily deconfirm him, but yeah,
There was a Christmas
He's a
trailer
cool guy.
with a bunch
Thought
of
about it.
themed ones.
he's
Yeah.
a real cool guy. Yeah, and
That's
there's a lot of
awesome.
music, a lot of stages. We can make the rooftop a stage with reindeer paws.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh,
Maybe you can warp pipe through the chimney.
And like you
Yeah.
said, the coal mine is like covered in various red and green paraphernalia.
Yeah, it's got holly and it's coal. I mean, the idea, like the lore is really convoluted here. Charles Dickens, one of the things he wrote about, this were not novels, but they were letters to Parliament, like arguing essentially in favor of ending child labor in coal mines. And I just felt like that's a very specific, and the iconography of a coal mine is very specific, when it comes to like Clementine and the gold rush. And I just felt like, the coal mine is a really solid setting to put the Charles Dickens type stage for A Christmas Carol. And that's when we showed off Santa Claus, and Dorothy has a Cinderella outfit where she's like a black lab with glass slippers. And
It's funny you mention all the stage references, because since characters are extremely involved to make, but like stages, yeah, there's a time commitment from the background artist and a little bit of balancing, but like honestly, I feel like in some ways we've gone more wild with those. Like Plato's allegory of the cave does not take place in
Yeah.
a particular cave.
No.
In the real story, and like I got to like add shadows to the background of that one. If you know the story, it's like the real world is being projected onto the background of a cave, or the back of a cave, and then like the Big Rock Candy Mountain stage is just a giant candy mountain, and that's wonderful.
That one actually, that's got really specific references to the lyrics of the song all over the place. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Lollipop trees and candy cigarettes and a lake of stew and the lemonade fountain. Actually, that is one where every single thing you point to, yeah, everything is an Easter egg.
And it was that Pimento University. People kept knowing things that I didn't know about.
Yeah,
the game
so
I was
that's
on.
people know about that because it was a meme in sort of like the YouTube poop era, where there's a Looney Tunes short called "The Dover Boys at Pimento University," and they've got this great like vaudeville style villain in it who became a big YouTube poop subject in like the late aughts. And so Pimento University is a setting from that short. I was looking at this because people had been requesting that character. The copyright's expired, and so it's all public domain, and it can be reused any way you want. So I was looking into it, and basically the opening shot is just the university. It's up on a hill at like a different angle, but the way that they drew it in game was just almost 1-to-1, like a fighting stage. It was like the platform is here, and then the two little window awnings are here. And so I said, there it is. You know, we just draw the building head on, and that's our stage. And we use music from the short, and you know, we make it a really good time.
Sweet.
Yeah, I got one other
Yeah.
quick thought.
Please.
You guys said something about VHS, right?
Yeah.
I want to have like shaders on the game that basically overlay everything with a really nice texture that sort of like implies you're watching VHS. Like,
Yeah.
in the
What
90s.
if you did like an old film, and then at the end of the match, it kind of melts away, like, you know, the film itself like fried, and then
Oh,
it
yeah,
That's
melts
pretty
away
good.
or stuff.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah, that so one of the ways that we're looking into this, and we haven't arrived at solutions yet. It's part of this like VFX pass that you know, the base Kickstarter funding aims to fulfill, is that like different stages can have different VFX based on their source media. So like if it is like based on old pen and ink illustrations, you know, it might have like a page texture. Maybe there's a coffee stain or something on it. And there's actually an old film. It is the source of our London Bridge stage. It's called London After Midnight. The stage is basically the poster of this movie. And the film was lost in a warehouse fire. There are no surviving copies. Like, you can't watch it. We don't know what happens in this movie. And so that would be a really great, you know, end game fade out on that one.
Yeah. Making the filters is very cool. I love, as a avid watcher of Digital Foundry, I have a profound respect for, they call it technical art, which is like the visuals that don't require you to be an illustrator or 3D modeler. So that's everything from image quality to filters, post-processing effects, and that's stuff I've been learning a lot about and implementing in this game, and I'd really love to implement a lot more overlays.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. We guys, go check out Royalty Free for All's Kickstarter. It's you know,
Thank
I
you.
don't think we've featured the Kickstarter
thank
yet. Let's
you.
go ahead and show it quick, so people know you're at the right one. Yeah, pretty easy to see. It's got a giant logo.
Yeah.
There's all those copycats out there.
So this is the Kickstarter right here. You can see 675 backers. You can see how close they are to their goal with 6 days to go here. You can go down and just see all the things they got going on. The different pledge amounts, of course, you can just do $1 if you just want to show some love, but don't intend to buy the game. Get a special thanks, get your voting rights, you get the free game at launch, so $15 basically to buy the game. You got $20 if you want an instruction book and wallpapers. The RFA for $2 for $30. The RFA art book and OST. The RFFA for $4. Hey,
That's the
you wanna
one.
buy it for you and 3 buddies. That's what you need right there.
Yeah. That's the sweet spot. That's the best.
That's the
tier.
one my mom got.
One behind the screen updates, of course. For $75, you can get the BTS closed beta access for $100. They got the special tester build. There you go, $150 to be part of
that
that.
one's good. You can just play anytime you want. You know, early access to content and development. That one's really fun.
Yep.
That cute guy.
You want to be in the credits with the little cameo, little $250 there.
Yeah, look at that cute little piggy. If you have a favorite public domain character, you could get them into the game just like this little guy.
Yep. Get a custom drawing for $500. We got a couple backers on that.
Yeah, and to clarify, that one is like you see these characters in the character select screen. We'll draw a portrait for a character that you choose that's not in the game, as if, you know, a little royalty free for all alternate universe.
There you go. This is the Dorothy plush. I've seen this in person. The Dorothy plush.
So cute.
Peak.
I wish those pictures are like 32 pixels, but
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know. I wish there was like a bigger one like you had for the pig up here, but you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I've
been giving me
seen
a
it
little bit of image trouble, but that's all right.
Yeah, I've seen it in person. It looks really cute.
Yeah, what, like 100 of those in your house right now, Colin?
Yeah, I've got
His whole house is just littered with them.
it's actually
Yes.
literally I literally can't get places. we got a big order of these adorable plushies, so
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then we got what is it, 600 for another Dorothy plush pack here. You get a
Yeah, they're the ones that
limited
are
edition.
limited price.
yeah,
limited-
so one is like early bird pricing, limited quantity, you know, you get to save some money on it.
Yeah, 47 out of 50 left there.
Yeah.
Credits and cameos was this DX. Is that what do you get with this? You get
Oh, so that's like you know, the credits cameos, you basically get like a Final Fantasy style. The characters are going like this, they're cheering for you at your name at the credits, like they just won
Oh,
an
that's
RPG
cool.
battle. Credits cameo DX, we will fully animate them. You know, if you want the Mad Hatter in the game, he might like run in and like trip on a teacup and shrink down, and the teacup.
that's sick.
You know, I don't know exactly what, but you know, that's the idea. Is we'll like
Telling you,
fully go all out on that character.
Ivan is the most efficient animator I have ever seen. His work is stellar, and sometimes we are in the middle of a meeting and we are coming up with an idea,
Yeah.
and then he has drawn it, and he's like, "Yeah, like this," and we're like, "Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted it to look like."
Yeah, we've literally like play tested a character and been like, how about like this kind of thing? And like minutes later, he's got the move done. Whoa.
Ridiculous. It's remarkable. Like, yeah, illustrators are a different breed.
Yep. You get your in-game cameo. It's an animated in-game cameo from one of your favorite public domain characters. So there you go.
Yeah, so I'll point out, we've seen the Little Shop of Horrors stage with this big guy Gravis, the plant from the Little Shop of Horrors.
Yep.
Well, that's our own lore on it, but you know, he is a big animated cameo. He's got a lot of fun expressions. He does a lot of different things when you're there in the battle, and so we can add more characters like him with this backer reward.
There we go. And then you can't forget about the legend status.
Shout out, Mr. Gamer Guy.
Yeah,
You got two backers at this level. It's
two
crazy.
backers. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's basically, you know, you get your battle cameo in the game no matter what. There are some characters that you know, depending. The previous one is, you know, you list your top 5 because we think, you know, maybe we can get your number 1, or maybe we could get your, you know, number 3 and 4 for the same price if, you know, the designs are simpler. So like that, you know, the first one is you send in your list and we work with you to see like what, you know, you can get the most satisfaction for your money out of. The battle cameo DX, just, you got it. We'll do it. We'll make it happen.
There you go. They already got 2 backers of that. And then, you know, you have 1 backer at designing a costume.
Yeah.
So that's not
So this is what I was talking about.
Yeah, full paint over of every sprite on the character.
So this gets hundreds and hundreds of drawings redone, sometimes up to thousands for a character, and that's what we were mentioning earlier with, like, you know, we could potentially do a King Arthur version of Lancelot. You know, we could do a Toto version of Dorothy where she becomes a
Your
terrier.
dog is Dorothy.
Yeah.
You could literally do that.
Yeah.
And then again, as they mentioned before, they do have the, you want a fighter in the game, you can force a fighter to be in this game.
Yeah.
You want to be the big baller, say, I love this game, and it's getting my fighter in the game. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wet floor guy stands rise.
Yeah,
But don't too fast or you'll slip and fall.
Oh, it's all about Colonel Bleep. It's all Colonel Bleep all day.
Yeah. And here, Kickstarter is a great place too, guys. If you want just more information on the game, there's a ton of information on here about what's already coming, what's already part of the game, and then obviously, you know, what they're trying to do with the game and what this Kickstarter is for. And obviously, the big draw for me is get this in the consoles, please. I want this. I want this on my Switch/Switch 2 like yesterday.
Yeah, same
The
here.
only one. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the customizable controls. Obviously, talk about the tunes of David Wise and everything in here. Josh Connelly.
There's London After Midnight, like I was saying.
All the music on here. If you guys want to like check out some of the tracks and stuff like that, see what you're getting with the game or what you might be supporting. The full breadth of people working on the team here. And yeah, just all the stuff and all the stretch goals. And this is where you start to see, you know, the Bigfoot. the Frankenstein. Again, guys, this stuff is still possible. Don't think that this has to be all attained in the next 6 days. We just got to get to that 40K. We get to the 40K on this, it stays up.
That's
and
right.
then things can keep building from here. So we might get up to Bigfoot as more marketing keeps happening for the game. Kit and Krista's pushing it really hard. Might somehow pull off getting to Frankenstein. You know what's crazy too? You see the giant gap in trying to get this fighter here. You know, if you just give 10,000, you can get any fighter you want. Just throwing that out there.
Not quite any fighter you want, but yeah.
Any fighter that we know we can do within that labor cost.
Sorry, Stat. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
But no, that's totally right. I mean, these big jumps are because, you know, these characters, first of all, have a whole bunch of stretch goals in between them that are not revealed. But you know, also in part because, you know, Dante is like an unbound spirit. You know, we want to do some crazy reality bending like tricks with him. Right. So, you know, these are characters that are, you know, otherwise hard to realize.
Yeah, these are Dante's. Yeah, he'd be pretty freaking sick though.
Yeah. He's a great design.
This is what they get if they just get to the 40K, which they're trending towards pulling this off. You get the 8 fighters plus the stretch goals, 16 stages plus stretch goals, customizable controls, rewatchable replays, performance mode, rollback netcode. Some of you guys are going to love that. 1v1 online quick play, free-for-all online quick play, private online lobbies, items according to stretch goals achieved. You know, obviously there's nothing yet, but we'll see what happens. Guest composers. Again, that's where we start to get Grant involved, guys. Come on. Battle cameos from fan favorite public domain characters. You know, and then they have goals and backer rewards might take a little bit longer, of course, past when they plan to get they have a console ports, arcade mode, digital instruction booklet, digital art booklet, digital soundtrack, remix, etc. So yeah, and obviously you can wish list it right now on Steam as well. Let me see here. What price you guys planning to sell this for when it comes out? Are you going for the $15 like on the Kickstarter?
We're going for $15. Yeah.
Going for 15? Okay. That's good. That's good. I know there's some people wondering. I was like, I'm pretty sure they're going to stick with what they're charging on the Kickstarter for, but you know, some Kickstarters have like, this isn't that price. It's a special price for backers. It's more expensive at launch, you know?
Right. No. We're not going up from 15. I mean, what's that?
There were the $12 early birds that we blew through right away.
Oh, sure. That makes sense.
That's right.
$2 cheaper for the super early birds. Yeah. And then it goes through all the challenges and risks of everything. So guys, you absolutely should go check this out. Link in the pinned comment or the description. If you're listening to the audio version, it'll just be in the description of the audio version to go check this out. And you can follow them. I know for sure they're active over on X, royalty free for all over there. Pretty easy to find them.
Yeah, we're taking off over there. We are on all platforms. That one's been really successful for us lately. But anywhere you like, you can find us. TikTok, Instagram, we're on Facebook. I mean,
if you hang out on
like to be.
And like it's a small team. You hang out on our Discord and you want to chat, you probably can.
Yeah, I respond to lots.
There you go. Get a chance.
Sometimes we set up private lobbies in there
and talk to them directly on their Discord. So go check out that Kickstarter, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it so much. Thank you guys.
Yeah, guys,
so much
thanks for watching, and thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem.
Absolutely.
Loved having you on.
And great to meet you.
It's always great to see you.
In person. It was awesome.
Oh yeah,
seconded.
Second time in person for us. I feel like royalty now, royalty free.
Yes, we got that
royalty free. That's interesting.
You've been made royalty free.
I should have grabbed one of my. I have an old crown for one of my Halloween costumes. Would have been badass. Pulled it out. Okay, you guys gonna stick around for more topics?
I have to get back to playing Game Redacted on my System Redacted.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've got a pretty big surprise coming pretty soon that I actually am probably going to be up all night on. So
okay.
Keep an eye out. Coming up soon.
Yeah.
You should have gone for the. Actually, I just remembered I had a dentist appointment I gotta get to right now.
I've got a dentist appointment. Yeah. Oh, it's already 10:45 p.m. I gotta get going.
Yeah, this is 7 hours late. That's the only reason I even got in. You know, I gotta.
My dog's kind of looking at me all sad. I think I need to take her out.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for being on. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, thank you,
guys. Go check it
And
out.
thank
Total
you
pleasure,
for-
guys.
Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you,
It's ours.
Colin and Nate for getting me a start in the friggin' games press. What was that? 12 years ago now. Wild.
Yeah, truly. Thank you.
Dude, the amount of people we worked with that have gone on to work somewhere in video games is crazy.
Pretty sick.
It's really bonkers to see the spread. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
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 All right. You
All
guys
right,
have a good
All right. Have a
Yeah,
good
good
one,
night, guys.
everybody.
Cheers.
Good night.
Thank you,
Cheers, have a
guys.
good
Thanks for
one.
being here.